In a previous tutorial, we looked at how to use ERG in two different ways. So the ERG is situated either under documentation, where we can click onto the menu bar at the top and click onto industrial, or if we want, we can go to the shortcut icon, which looks like a drum, click onto there, then that will open up the emergency response guidebook, depending on which version you're using, 2012 or 2016. And we said in the previous tutorial we can use this ERG in two ways, either as reference material or as part of calculations. What we're going to do in this tutorial is look at one of the limitations that we may face if we come across a toxic industrial material or a toxic industrial chemical. So let's get straight into it then. What we need is some sort of incident or report to indicate to us that something has happened. So in this particular case, we have been sent a report, an information report. So I can go up to View on the menu bar, click onto View, go down to Information Reports, open up the Information Reports database, and inside there is a information report. So I can click that, double click to open it up, then there's the report. So I'll close down the database and just bring the report up with the map in the background. So this is a report that we have received, and what we want to do with this report, we want to turn it into a risk object, allowing us to place onto the map that we have identified that we do have some sort of possible risk within our area. We need to be aware that we have these 4 drums of identified substance, and we need to get someone to come in, either clear them away, mitigate that risk by removing them, maybe first of all checking to see how hazardous they may or may not be. So that's the information that we've received, and we want to transfer that information across onto a risk object report. So the quickest way to do that is we can place the pointer, if we know the exact position of where these drums have been found. In this case, it's in the farmyard in a disused building. So we're going to right click on the mouse, then go down to create a risk object, and we're going to create a chemical risk object. So there is our risk object report. And to speed things up as far as the report is concerned, we're not going to fill out every single field that's available to us. We'll just put in enough information so that you, as the operator, can have an understanding of the demonstration that we're putting together here. So first thing we do need is a ID, so we'll just place in an ID. We'll just call it find. It falls under environmental industrial hazard, and we'll make this our first report. Instead of typing the information out, what we can do is we can take information from here. We can then copy it, transfer it across into another report. So we'll just take some of the information. Like I said, we're not going to take it all. We can copy that across. And we'll just check the grid, see if we do have exactly the same grid. It is slightly different, so we'll make some adjustments to it so it is the same, and then we'll make that the same as well. Again, as we've talked about on previous tutorials, we do have options to do a perimeter, a hazard range, or we can use the safety exclusion zones that are indicated at 1, 3 and 11 kilometers as part of the ATP 3.8.1 Volume 1 for CBRN Defense, Intelligence Preparation of the Environment, which incorporates some risk objects for recce and survey. we are not going to use those safety exclusion zones. We are going to place in our own. With advice from the defense advisor, we've decided to initially just place a 300-meter hazard area, and we want to see that marked onto the map. Then we need to fill out the bit that we're really interested in, which is what happens if there is some form of release. So in this case, we're going to say it is, again, unknown substance. We'll take that, place that in there, fill out the rest of the report. It's observed. We don't want anything in field 2. We know that there are 4 drums, so we'll mark 4 in there, the number. Then generic storage container. Worst case scenario, we've got 4 drums, each drum's containing 20 litres, so 80 litres. So type of spill we get is small. Could go onto the surface. Now normally, when we're using the ERG, we would click onto here, or we may know the number. We can place the number in. In this case, we have no idea. There are no markings, there's no indication, there's no writing. They are just containers with an unknown substance inside. So we're going to have to go worst case scenario. So if we're going to go worst case scenario, we need to go to the pick list. We then need to go down from the pick list. And we need to select the one that we're after. And the one that we want is toxic industrial chemical. So we're going to select that one, place that in there. That tells the software that we don't know what the number is. So create a worst case template as far as toxic industrial chemical is concerned. Then we'll go down to mica or Mike Romeo. We'll say it's liquid, and we'll place a hyphen in there. So again, what we're looking at is worst case if everything goes, or there are leakages from everything that's in there. Go OK. Taken that information. We don't need the information report anymore. As far as we're concerned, it's carried out its purpose, but we can hold on to it within the database if we wish. So we just go, yeah, we'll save that information. So if we now click on to the risk object icon, that will then open up the report. We'll go straight to what if. We locate the map, go to calculation, ask it to calculate, and then we have our template. And we can then zoom out. And now you can see a template that we will get onto the map if we don't know what type of toxic industrial chemical material we're dealing with. We don't have the name, we don't have the ID. Here is the standard template that we're going to get onto the map. If we click onto hazard distance, so it's 1 kilometer by 3 kilometers downwind distance. As you can see, it is set in meters here, so 1,000 to 3,000 meters. So go OK. That's if it does release. Obviously we don't want it to release. Hopefully nothing's going to happen. And then we can remove the containers, or get some specialist team in to have a look and see if they are hazardous in any shape or form. So that is one of the factors that we need to be aware of when we are using the emergency response guide or attempting to use it. If we don't know what the material number or the material name is, then we do have an option in the pick list where we can select to go worst case template.